Hello everyone, a bit late, but never mind, we are roaring to go. Tonight we are going to talk about Geldingadalir, the world famous eruption by now that seems to be attracting huge numbers to Iceland, sometimes when they can actually come over. But tour companies are really looking forward to seeing crowds of people from around the world to come and see this beautiful eruption, and of course the rest of Iceland. But for now we have to be content with more than 13,000 different coverage of the eruption on different medias, television, it's all over the place. And I just actually made my way up there yesterday. I was very lucky though, because the weather was very good, it was brilliant, and new craters appeared while I was on my way over there, and there was hardly anybody there. But I did have the opportunity to get some shots of this brilliant phenomenon, and I intend to share it with you in a short video, share them with you in a short video at the end of this little virtual tour that we are going to do. I think that everybody knows by now that Iceland is highly volcanic country, highly seismically active country, but I wanted to maybe do a little bit of an explanation, try to explain actually why Iceland is so highly volcanic and why is it erupting in Geldingadalir now. And in order to do that, I need to take you on a bit of a journey into the past, into the far past. Actually, we are going all the way back 350 million years ago, when there was just a single continent in the world. All the land masses that we see as continents, islands, and land in general were actually together in a supercontinent called Pangaea. And I have some material to show you to make this easier to understand. I'm gonna put that up now. Okay, maybe we can get this like that. Yeah, this looks good. So this is the supercontinent, Pangaea, and all the landmass in the world, more or less all together. But nobody is really sure why it happens, but it started to crack up. It started to break up, and the different parts of it started to move and drift away from each other. And we call it the drift of the continent. Nobody really understood why Iceland was so volcanically active until in the middle of the 20th century, when this theory about the drift of the continent or tectonic drift was advanced and is held to be the truth today. Nobody really doubts it, although they can't explain really the forces behind it, but they still think it is the way to go. So we had this continent splitting up, and for the past 350 million years it's been drifting apart. And we have joints. Sometimes the joints are in the sea, sometimes on land, like in Turkey and in India. But basically they are in the ocean, so we don't see much of them. Occasionally they surface, and one such rift runs along the Atlantic Ridge, which runs from the, well, way down south and up north, along the Atlantic Ocean. It's a huge mountain range called the Atlantic Ridge, and along the top of it we have this crack, this huge fissure, where we have eruptions quite frequently, and in Iceland more often than anywhere else on that long distance. And there's a reason for that, of course, but Iceland is basically the surfacing of the Atlantic Ridge, because there's a huge extra plume of molten magma underneath it that adds to the stuff that comes out of the ground. And the plume uses the weaknesses in the crust that it can find, and so it breaks up here in Iceland and actually makes Iceland. But Iceland is young. It is a geological infant. The oldest parts of Iceland are only about 16, 17 million years old. And those rock formation, those mountains that were formed 17 million years ago, you can find them on the East Coast and on the West Coast. 17 million years ago, they were being formed in the same place out of the same stuff at the same time. It took some time, though, to build them up, like it does with mountains. But we can see here, these are the mountains of the West Fjords, and they are the same as the mountains on the East Fjords, and made out of the same stuff. Whoops, my kind flying about around the cliffs. Had to put that in, though. But so this means that right through Iceland runs this great fissure, the Great Divide. The most famous place where this is to be seen is at our parliament site, Þingvellir, which is actually the old parliament site where the Icelanders used to get together to hold parliament, established the year 930. Of course, they didn't know about the geological significance of the place at the time, but it was just a beautiful place, and it seems to be kind of God-made, and so it was. So here we have a brilliant view of the Þingvellir. To the right, you have the North American continent, the continent of North America, and to the left we have Eurasia. A lot of people that come to Þingvellir, and they go through this small crack here. You can see that I'm tracing the mouse along it, and they think that this is the actual continental divide. That's not altogether true. Between the North American plate and this Eurasian plate, there are like 3 kilometers. That's how wide the crack is. And the stuff on it is just a shell. It is the shell that fuses the continents together for a brief while. But sometimes we don't know when something is going to happen, like what is happening in Geldingadalir right now. And there's going to be an eruption right there. Actually, the most recent eruption was about 6,000 years ago, and then this lake did not exist. Actually, this is the largest lake in Iceland, called Þingvallavatn, and it didn't exist. But the eruption caused a huge mountain to be formed that is called Skjaldbreiður, and it was right in the river that used to flow through here. So it forced all the water to flow underground, and so it finds its way into the valley that was there and created Þingvallavatn. So this is how the plates are moving now apart. The speed of the drift, the move is about 1 inch a year, 2-3 centimeters, or sometimes more. And the east plate, the Eurasian plate, is floating a little bit to the east, and the North American plate is drifting a little bit further west. It is actually measurable. So this is the reason why we have an eruption in Iceland. The land is coming apart. It is getting bigger. Every time we have an eruption, the land gets thicker and it gets whiter a little bit. And that's the reason. So right here we have a map of Reykjanes, and it shows in red where the Geldingadalir is located, and it is basically the surfacing of the Atlantic Ridge, and we see the stretch marks very clearly on that map, and Geldingadalir is right on one of those stretch marks. The earthquakes that we experienced prior to the eruption were basically the land being torn apart, stretching apart, opening gateways, tunnels for this lava to come out. And now it happened, and it is still happening, and nobody really knows how long it is going to last. This is what people are banking on, really, who are now ordering and booking tours to Iceland. They figure that at least it will be warm when they get here, and that is almost for certain. But geologists, when they're asked to how long is this going to last, everybody wants to know. They can't tell. They say, well, at least weeks more, maybe even months, and some people have said years. We have had eruptions in Iceland that have lasted many years, so this could be one of them. Nobody really knows. So in order to get to Geldingadalir, there's a bit of a way you have to walk, but you also have to have a vehicle to get from either Reykjavik or Keflavik. I left from Keflavik, Reykjanesbær, that was marked up there to the left, Reykjanesbær, and I left at around 9, what was it? Yeah, it was 9:30 or so. And in half an hour, I was here at the parking lot. Then I had to walk for about an hour and a half in order to get up to the eruption itself. But more about that in this little video that I have prepared for you. And I actually don't talk only about the experience. It's, for the lack of words, really, more than anything else. It's very hard to describe something that is in a better way than just looking at it, and you are completely awestruck. You know, it is such an incredible experience to just see Mother Earth create something brilliant and new. And I hope you get to experience it. When I got up there, of course, a couple of craters had been created as I walked up there, you know, so I got to see the really fresh craters coming on. I think I have a short video of one of it, this major crater right here. I'm gonna let it run. So this didn't exist when I started my journey. This one wasn't there. And since this one appeared, at least 3 more have appeared. So it has all the hallmarks of an extended eruption in this crack, that keeps opening further north, further and further. And by now, the whole valley where it started is full of magma, is full of lava, freshly made lava that smells like fresh lava. Of course, you can see that the gases and smoke is coming out of it right there. And there I am, proudly on location, finally made it up, and it was awesome. But, you know, when you walk around Iceland, especially in the highlands, you start to see, well, you can't escape the molten lava, the lava fields all over. But what does really fresh lava look like? And you got it there. This is how it looks like. It looks like an art, some kind of crazy formations that the earth produces and leaves this for us to admire. I could see thousands of images, thousands of pictures out of there, but this is what we Icelanders are expert at. We see faces and things out of our rocks and lava formations everywhere. But I've seen pictures of people actually walking onto this new lava, and that is not a kosher thing to do. Absolutely not. People think that it is solid underneath, and it is not. And it can happen so fast. This stuff is so hot. And I'm gonna just show you what actually can happen if you are if you get on there and you're not careful. Look how quickly this happens. No, let me see, can't I get this going here? Huh? I thought I could before. Why can't I get this up? All right, here it is. Whoa, here we go. Didn't find the button. Here we go. Again, sorry. Technology and me, not. Look at how quickly the lava comes out of the lava. It looks like solid, and it isn't. It happens within seconds. All of a sudden, you got a pool of fresh, hot lava. I've never seen this, caught on film before. Look at that. Just a tsunami of lava. So that's something that people should be aware of, that go up there. Don't get onto the newly fresh lava. It looks solid, but it isn't. There is 1300, 1200 degree hot lava, molten rock underneath your feet. And actually it is even there where you think you are safe, but the crust is a bit thicker there. So now we come basically to the little movie that I made. I wanted to show people not just what it is actually in the valley. We've had so many pictures from the valley, and people think, oh, this is so easy to get to, and it's brilliant and beautiful. But it is, you have to put in a bit of work in order to get there. And so I figured I wanted to show you what you have to see on the way and what you experience on your way. So I'm gonna just let that little movie that I made to talk for itself. Well, I do talk a little bit on it, but we start out in Keflavik in the early morning, and then we end up in Geldingadalir.
The now world-famous eruption in Geldingadalir is more active than ever. This morning we decided to go up there. Finally, the weather is good, sun is shining, and few people around. We take off from Keflavik, we drive towards Reykjavik, and then we turn to the right, and ahead of us are the mountains where Geldingadalir is. We have to drive all the way to Grindavik, this small fishing village on the southeast coast or side of Reykjanes. And if you're not in a hurry, you may want to stop at Grindavik and look around. It's worth it. It's a typical Icelandic fishing village, but very successful as such. I've been there many times, so I'm heading on. I drive towards the mountains along the Söderlandsvegur, which runs along the east side of the peninsula, and very quickly I marked the parking space which they have made for the thousands of people that have headed up there. In the beginning, people had to walk for more than 4 hours, but ahead of us is only about 1.5 hour walk. But the terrain looks a bit difficult. But we will go ahead. We walk through the lava field, the moss-covered lava field, and towards the mountains. You need to be fit for hiking in order to make the journey. It's not an easy journey to make. Every now and then we stop and look around, for the landscape is truly beautiful. It is rough, it is volcanic, it is Icelandic. On we go, up the hill, and soon you feel like you are in the wilderness, and you are, kind of. The desert-like landscape is amazing. And as you walk on, just about 10 minutes before you reach the volcano, you start to hear it. And you get an occasional whiff of the smell from the volcano. Now, if the wind was carrying the gases and smoke from the volcano, it wouldn't be safe to get up there. They would have closed the path over to it. As I am walking up there, a new crater just opens up. And when I arrive, it is in full force. There's a river of lava stretching in three directions actually, from the original crater. But several other craters are formed now as the lava stretches into the valleys. 1200 degrees hot, molten rock. We can see the lava field, this newly made lava field, these incredible shapes that it has formed. It is advisable when you get up there to have a gadget that will tell you if the gases are too great to be safe, gives you a buzz and you have to run away from it. I just sat down and enjoyed the view, Mother Nature in its awesomeness, creating this incredible display that pictures or video won't do justice actually. You can feel the force beneath your feet. I had a bit of a breakfast there, Icelandic water and the traditional Prince Polo chocolate. That was the main candy-like biscuit of Iceland for many decades. The rescue team, which is a volunteer group from around the country, stations their vehicles around here. And these guys are absolutely amazing. People say they have no idea how long this is gonna go on. But the place couldn't be more perfect. It's nowhere near where it could do any damage. It is the most perfect place for an eruption in order to get up close and see it. We're lucky that there's hardly anybody there. On my way back I will meet some people undoubtedly.
And the thing is that I don't think there's any place in the world right now where it is erupting at this rate and you can get this close up. It's really amazing. If you're careful and if you observe the law, you can get within a couple of meters of the molten magma. Can't stay long because it's hot up there, and close to it. But you can observe it and you are safe. I mean, the people there, that the rescue squadrons, these are volunteers, but they are so good, and they have already helped several people in trouble up there, because thousands of people have already made their way up there, and on weekends it's a bit of a traffic up there. So it's better if you want to have a little bit of privacy to come there during the week and not on the weekend. But you can, although you are there on your own, basically volition, and nobody else is responsible for you, those guys are there to help, and they do it. They are not paid. They are volunteers. For all around Iceland, we have these volunteer squadrons. They have the state-of-the-art equipment to deal with any kind of emergency, and can be totally trusted. And it was nice to see them there. But the Icelanders, they have to be grateful, and the people that actually wander up there or around Iceland, we have to be grateful for their effort of helping out and being there when they are needed. That being said, for me there was nothing but to head back. I thoroughly enjoyed the tour, and I do think I will go again soon. I'm sort of hoping that it'll be a little later, that it'll be going on when we get the summer colors coming in into this area, and so I can show the difference maybe between the mountains and the vegetation in the mountains in the winter time or late winter time and in the summertime, because it does changes. Iceland has different coats every time. The winter coat and the winter and the autumn and the spring is pretty much alike, but the summertime is so different. Iceland becomes green, and you have to go quite high up into the mountains not to see flowers. The highland is like that, the highland of Iceland, which is considerably higher up than the mountains we find the Geldingadalir in and the eruption now. But I think I'm gonna call it quits now. It's a rather short presentation. I know I've usually here for more than half an hour, but that's basically the material that I prepared for tonight or this afternoon, depending on where in the world you are. So I'm going to call it quits now, but I do want to tell you that this video that I made, this little video is on our site, on the Facebook site as well. So please view it again if you like, and then leave a little comment if you want to. But I am pretty happy to leave it at that. So thank you all for coming along, and see you next Wednesday, if not sooner. Bye-bye.